Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what the game has for me today. We've got the Arms Dealer. Okay, well the Arms Dealer is of course an inherently random character, but we'll see what we can make work with this character while we play. And we will just do a random weapon collection with the Arms Dealer, so I'm going to buy just the first weapons that I see whenever we're playing Arms Dealer. So this character is going to have a random collection of weapons. Once we get rid of this pistol, things will get a lot better. And then here, I could take melee damage right away, or I could roll for harvesting. We're going to want both melee and ranged damage, because we're going to have random weapons all the way through. So let's roll for better stats. Luck is also nice, because it means higher level weapons will show up, which is pretty good for the character. And then I'm going to take the hiking pole and loot. Hiking pole will, if we take 70 steps this wave, give us the range benefit permanently, even after the hiking pole disappears. However, we will not take 70 steps this wave, so the hiking pole will not end up giving us any benefit here. I need like 3 weapons this wave, so we're just going to buy the first 3 weapons that we see and then otherwise focus on buying other items. Turret is a nice way to kill enemies that doesn't, even if we have a bad weapon setup, we can use the turret pretty effectively. And then do I want a stick or a shredder? I don't think so, though maybe I lock stick because that will give us a great weapon that we can buy next wave. Actually, I'm going to lock both of these. No, I'm just going to lock the stick. And then I will lock Propeller Hat as well, because that's just a really solid item. I would say for the first wave with Arms Dealer, this is a pretty nice setup. It would have been nice to find another loot just for the extra harvesting this wave. And I could have rolled for that, but the amount of money we would spend on that would have been pretty high. And since we already had other weapons, I didn't think it was going to be worth doing. Stick is just a strong weapon overall, and getting it for 1 material is always good, so it seems like locking that would be will be helpful for the next wave. We're going to take 4 melee damage here. We've already got 53 harvesting, so I don't really need to roll. And attack speed is good no matter what weapon setup we end up with, so we're going to pick up that attack speed. We'll take the stick, we'll take Propeller Hat. I will buy the shuriken, because I'm going to buy we're going to play with completely random weapons, so we're going to play with a fully random selection of weapons every wave here. I could take the Gummy Berserker to get... Oh, we did get 1 range. Nice. Okay, I did manage to take 70 steps. I didn't think you actually could take 70 steps on wave 2. I didn't think there was enough time in the wave, but apparently there was just enough, and we managed to get +1 range. That's going to be with us the entire game. So this range is our mascot for the run now. Gummy Berserker, I still think we want to pass on, though. But here you can see, having picked up this stick really paid off, because we can go ahead and buy that. I think I want 4 weapons this wave, and we'll take a jelly. This, of course, will give us usually +6 HP, because we're going to have random weapons. And a bag is also excellent. Then we're going to roll here, and I will lock a stick and a spear for next wave. These are great items for... these are just great weapons overall. We'll take a coffee, and then we'll lock a baby elephant as well. So the rule, I think, is going to be that I have to buy every weapon I see if I want to buy a weapon, but I don't have to buy every weapon I see if I want fewer weapons than that. So we're just going to play with totally random weapons. But with the Arms Dealer, by locking weapons in the shop like that, you can manipulate what weapons show up in future shops. So because there are 2 weapons locked in the shop, we're unlikely to roll another weapon in the next shop. And then we can buy the stick and spear and make sticks, spears, and other primitive weapons more likely to show up in future shops after that. We can take 2 ranged damage. We, of course, will want that. I could also just take a defensive stat like HP or regen, but I think I'm just going to take the luck. Again, having higher level items show up is really nice for this character. So here you can see we successfully managed to avoid having bad weapons show up in this shop and forcing myself to buy them. We will obviously take Baby Elephant. This character wants ways to kill enemies that work even if your weapon set is really bad for that round. So any non-weapon source of damage, like Baby Elephant, Cyberball, structures, Pocket Factory, and so on, are really strong for Arms Dealer. I'll take the Ugly Tooth. We will often end up with a weird and eclectic set of weapons, which can give us a lot of trouble if we aren't careful. So Ugly Tooth can help slow down these elites, even if we end up with a bad weapon set to fight them. Here I'm going to buy the Spear, and I'm going to buy the Scar. I'll lock the Tree. Do I buy Sickle? I think I do. I'm going to buy the Sickle, and I'm going to throw in a reroll here, and then we can lock a Spear. Hiking Pole, I'm not going to lock, because I'd rather just have Spears show up, but we will lock Lemonade as well. And 4 weapons should be good enough for this wave, though I'm going to want to go up to 5 weapons for wave 5, I think. I was contemplating playing with 3 weapons and locking the Sickle to see if we could maybe do a wave with Sickle. Because if you do a wave with a support weapon, then you get not only the money from the harvesting for that wave that you get from the support weapon tag, you also get the harvesting growth that you get from having higher harvesting permanently. So it's very useful to have a wave with support weapons on this character. We're making great income, though. I'm definitely taking attack speed. That's super important no matter what weapon set we have. And then crit chance. There's some weapons that care about it and some that don't, so not a high priority to buy on the arms dealer. I'm just going to take an armor here because we currently have none. Okay, a level 3 hiking pole, not actually great. You kind of want in the early game to find only low-level weapons, though in the later game we'll want higher-level weapons. But we'll still, of course, have to buy it, because we need to buy a weapon here. Brick, an excellent weapon for the arms dealer. If we can get this to break, then we will make a 26 material profit on it, which is pretty fun. We'll take a slingshot, and I'm going to buy the sharp bullet and the jelly. Sharp bullet, great with Pocket Factory, good with any weapon that cares about piercing. It's bad if we're using shotgun or weapons that have inherent piercing, but still very, very nice for a lot of ranged weapons. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to buy the brick. So I'm deciding whether I want to buy the hand just for the 3 harvesting now. This will give us basically 3 of our materials back. Or I could try to play 1 wave with hands next wave. If I lock this hand now, then we could potentially end up with a lot of hands and other support weapons in wave 6. It might slow down our kill speed, but we might get a lot of harvesting out of it. I think we've got 5 weapons that I'm reasonably happy with, so I'm going to get a little greedy here, and we're going to go for a hand setup the wave after this one. Compass, I'm going to roll past. Actually, I should not have rolled past the compass there. And then Spear and Slingshot are both nice. I think I'm going to lock just the Spear, and we'll lock Penguin as well. And that way we can do like a mixture of hands and spears for some income, as well as the ability to actually kill stuff with the spears. And yeah, 5 weapons was totally fine this wave. I'm really trying to hit things with the bricks, but in order to try to break them. Gonna need some healing soon, because of course it's often hard not to take damage on this character, because you have a random weapon set, so it can be very difficult to protect yourself. I'll take the cog. Yes, losing 4% damage is very painful, and we've got minus 11% damage somehow already, but it's still not a bad pickup for any engineering that we might want. Let's see. The melee range and ranged damage, or melee damage and ranged damage are both pretty important. I think we'll just take 2 melee damage there, and then I am going to take 15 more luck. That also works very well with our baby elephant. Our percent damage is horrible, because we've lost 5 from the sharp bullet, 4 from the cog, and what else have we lost damage from? Coffee, I guess. Propeller hat. Yeah, just like incidental little bits of lost damage over the course of the game, and we haven't built any back up. We'll take the hand and the spear here. We'll take Penguin. Weird Ghost I can't really take, I think, going into... Oh, this is wave 6, not wave 7. We've got so many items, I was thinking this was wave 7. Wave 6 is a little more enticing to buy Weird Ghost on, because it's a little easier to survive on wave 6 compared to wave 7. I think I will take the Weird Ghost here. Unfortunately, we didn't get more hands, but Cacti Club and Hatchet we will take. I'll lock the Vigilante Ring, because of course we want to offset this damage loss. Okay, we did get another hand, so this will actually be profitable, because we're spending 8 and getting 9 harvesting out of it, which is kind of fun. I think I want 6 weapons this wave, because we have the weird ghosts. I'm just like blanking on words. But because we have the weird ghosts, I want 6 weapons to protect ourselves. 2 of our weapons are hands, so I wasn't sure how much it would cost, but I guess I could have gotten away with buying the Shady Potion and then re-rolling. And then I could re-roll here to try to lock a specific weapon. A re-roll for 7 is pretty expensive, but I think I will re-roll because this lets me lock a spear. Riposte is another way that we can deal damage that doesn't involve hitting things with our weapons once we get some dodge. So these are all great options to have locked. Had to step away for a second to refill my water because I was just coughing a bunch, but we should still be good for this wave. So I stepped away and completely forgot that I had bought Weird Ghost. Okay. Well, luckily I didn't just walk into a bunch of enemies and die, but that could still happen. I'm going to try to break this tree. Now that we've gotten that second consumable, we're much safer. The double hand is just for the income, and the spears in Cacti Club and Hatchet, I guess, are helping us to kill stuff. Hatchet, not so much, but we've still managed to clear a bunch of enemies and get decent harvesting this wave, which is pretty nice. I'm going to need to build up the base damage of our attacks more, so I just need to find more melee and ranged damage, especially melee damage, but this character wants both. But we really can focus on percent damage and attack speed, because those are useful for almost every weapon in the game, so that's what you mostly want on the arms dealer. Goldfish will give us higher level ups, that's fine. I could take 9 HP here, I could take 9 dodge, but I think I'm going to roll for percent damage. I'll take the attack speed, though, because attack speed is always really good, and percent damage we, of course, need quite badly. I'll take the Vigilante Ring, we'll buy spear and loot, and then I'm going to keep the riposte locked. Actually, do I even lock the riposte? Because I need to roll into weapons this shop, and we've only got a couple rerolls to do that, so we'll buy the spear. We will lock the lure and the mouse, both great items. Metal detector I'm going to pass on because my percent damage is so low right now. And then we're going to keep re-rolling a bit until I can get some weapons. Yeah, these are not great weapons, but you just need 6, so we just had to re-roll a bunch there. Funnily enough, that goldfish, I think, was actually a downside for us, because it made it harder for us to find weapons. But at least we have a high-level spear, so we're in okay shape. I don't have, like, any elemental damage, but the loot debuffing things is actually really nice. Once again, we bought a loot and then didn't roll into any more loot, which would have been really nice to do, of course. I didn't mean to let that egg hatch, but unfortunately was not able to kill it before it did. Let's try to kill this one, because I'm trying to control the population of slashers here. We just don't want the ecology to get too disrupted. 60 materials on the ground, so I need to fix that. Pearl is a really nice find. We've got 60 luck already, so that's a huge upgrade to the character. And then, do I take regen, attack speed, or armor? This is a very interesting shop for us. I think I'm going to take 4 regen, because I've got no healing right now, and I need to fix that, and then we'll take 9 HP. Our economy is in great shape, so buying regeneration and health, I think, is going to be really important. Oh, right, I lost HP because we have a lot of our max health is coming from the jellies. So when our weapons disappear, so does our health. I'm going to take the lure here and the mouse and then the ghost scepter. I'm not going to take mastery because we have ghost scepter, so we're fairly likely to have ranged weapons this wave. I'll take the ghost flint. Turret, I guess I have to buy the wrench. Turret I'm going to buy, and I'll reroll. I've probably been forgetting that I'm doing this challenge where we buy every weapon we see. Spyglass, you reroll a lot on this character, so even though we have a Dangerous Bunny already, it might still be worth it to buy the Spyglass. So I think I will. I'll buy the tree, I'll do a reroll. We should still be able to buy a 6th weapon. I really need 6 weapons this wave because we've got to kill the lure enemies. And then I'll lock Pile of Books and Metal as well. If we can get 20 kills with the Ghost Scepter, then that will give us permanent HP. That's not that likely to happen, but it could. It's not super likely on wave 8, though, because there's just not that many enemies and they have a lot of health, so the Ghost Scepter is just not going to get that many kills. Where are our lure aliens? We've also got the flute, and flute's a nice weapon to splash in when you just have one of them amongst a pile of other weapons, because it can easily get you a couple charmed enemies, and the low damage of it doesn't matter that much when you have other weapons to do the killing for you. I think we're only going to get one lure alien here. Yeah, we got the one. But with 3 seconds left in the wave, we're definitely not getting a second one. Okay, nice. We got a percent damage from our Ghost Axe, and we might even have gotten... Yeah, we got an attack speed as well, it looks like. So a couple bonus permanent stats there from our weapons. I'll take the coil for sure. We currently have negative knockback, but it's 33 for 3% damage, so that's totally reasonable. A free pearl on a 3% chance is incredible. Celery tea going into wave 9. Very dangerous. Doubling enemy health is really dangerous, but wave 9 enemies have much lower base HP, so the celery tea I think is worth grabbing here. We'll take the incendiary turret as well, and then I'm going to roll. I'm looking for just any damage output. Though, I'll take the luck here because we have double pearl, and we have a baby elephant, so luck actually increases our damage a lot. We'll buy the flute here because we have to. Take the spyglass because I'm going to do some rerolls. And I think we're going to not buy either of these items because I need to find better weapons. Or I need to find weapons at all. So I'm going to save some money for rerolls here in case we get really unlucky. So yeah, let's do one more. We'll take the brick. I can upgrade the wrench. A level 2 wrench will be pretty nice. And then I guess I'll just take the pile of books. I could have bought one of these items, it turns out, but I really wanted to make sure we had the money if we rolled into, like, 2 level 4 weapons or something like that. Because trying to play this wave with celery tea and only 5 weapons would be really bad. Brick, of course, could result in us only having 5 weapons. If we have it break, but we're pretty happy if it breaks because we get the money, and it's very good because at clearing these relatively weak enemies with low HP totals because of its super high base damage. So really solid weapon for us this round. Also really liking that we got the level 2 wrench because the double incendiary turret is helping a ton for our clear speed here. Killing that tree was very difficult, but we made 580 and left 114 on the ground. Certainly not bad. I'll take the eye surgery. There are times when elemental damage is going to be important, and we have an incendiary turret already, so it does help with that. We'll take the snail here, though I will need to offset my movement speed loss, and then we'll just do that immediately. Let's take 15 attack speed, and for regen, and we're in, I would say, quite good shape at this point. Thief Dagger, a really nice find for the Arms Dealer, because not only is it a weapon that's just decent for killing enemies, it also will give us the materials if we can critically hit, though I will reduce my critical hit chance by buying that metal. I'm going to pass on the eye surgery at full price. We'll buy these 2 items, not really what we wanted to see, but it's fine. Another mouse, great. We'll take a gambling token as well. I don't like how low my armor is, but we do want to build dodge on this character, so I want to start doing that now. Second Thief Dagger, perfect, and then we can buy a revolver as well. Baby Gecko, we're leaving a lot of materials on the ground, so I will buy that. Acid, I'm going to pass on, it's just too expensive, and then we'll take another Thief Dagger here. And a recycling machine, and I'm going to lock the Thief Dagger and the stick going into the next wave, because those are both good weapons for us, and I'm pretty happy to have them. The revolver is going to steal a lot of Thief Dagger kills, but that's okay. We really just want this for the fact that it's just a decent weapon for killing stuff, and the extra money is just a bonus. Lost our brick there, but that's fine, because that means it turned into cash money. You have to be pretty careful with navigating these waves in terms of how you move around. We have a mouse, so there's lots of enemies on the field, and we're a short-range melee character that doesn't do that much damage. With the arms dealer, get used to just thinking of yourself as a melee character regardless of what weapon setup you have, because often you'll end up with a mixture of melee and ranged weapons, and that will just give you the best sort of understanding of how to play the character. I'll take the weird food for sure. Toolbox, losing 8 attack speed is really bad, but we do have kind of an engineering sub-theme. I think for 72 materials, though, I'm just going to take the money. And then here we're taking armor because we've got none. We'll buy Thief Dagger and Stick. Little Frog, I'm going to pass on. We just don't need the harvesting at this point. And we'll take a hiking pole. A baby squid is excellent. Mouse, yeah, we'll keep taking mice. We will pick up a feather as well. I've got XP gain from the celery tea, and we also bought a scar. So I don't mind losing the XP gain, and I do really want to build up dodge eventually. Another hiking pole for permanent stats is really good. So we're going to buy, I guess, all of these items, and we'll take a baby squid and then roll. Jousting lance, that's a solid weapon, so we're going to go ahead and lock that, and we'll take a mushroom and a turret. Roll one more time, and do I want the Thief Dagger here? I think I'm just going to lock it to go with the Jousting Lance. I'll take a Dynamite, though, because do we have any explosions? No, we don't. We would buy Rip and Tear and stuff like that, but I think we're just going to save 100 materials and make sure we can buy good stuff next round as well. Need to keep moving because we have these hiking poles. So if I am moving, then we're going to get a little bit of bonus range. Range, of course, not an important stat, but still, when it's free, you take it. And also, there is the bug where range affects your incendiary turrets, and we've got one of those already. So having those be longer range is certainly helpful as well. We're not struggling to stay alive, but we are struggling to kill enemies, but that's okay because we've got really good harvesting, and it looks like we're leaving a lot of enemies on the field, but that's in part because we have triple mouse, so there's just so many enemies. Very happy with Clockwork Wasp. We have this engineering sub-theme, which is working out very well. We'll take more attack speed, always great. And then I guess I'm just buying this whole shop. It is nice to get all these high-level weapons when we're going into an elite wave. We might even be able to kill the elite. It's another all-weapon shop. So let's see. Of these, I don't need to take all of them, but let's buy the Flaming Brass Knuckles, because that's a 50 damage per attack, and we'll buy the sword. Flute actually does 32 damage, so it's better than the Thief Dagger, but let's lock the Thief Dagger for next wave after this one. Stone Skin is not great. We just don't need the HP there, but I am going to take Tractor. It does reduce my damage, but the econ is great, and we'll take the Sunken Bell for a panic button. We will pick up the Incendiary Turret and the Fertilizer, and then lock the Hedgehog as well. One more reroll, and I'll lock a Broken Mouth also. Energy Bracelet, we don't want because it reduces my ranged damage. Ran exactly the wrong direction there to fight the elite, but let's test our damage against it. Looks like we should be able to kill it, I think. Taking a few extra hits, so I'm gonna, keep on the elite here, but make sure that I am positioning where I can always go pick up consumables if we need to heal back up. The low armor that we have is definitely making this a little harder than it would be otherwise, because when I take a hit, it takes a long time to heal back up, because the hits are just so much damage. Go break this tree. I wish we had Pocket Factory. We might not be able to kill the elite, as it turns out, because I had to back off from it a bunch. So I'm going to try still, because I do want the level 4 item. And I don't think we're in danger of dying unless I walk into 2 attacks in a row like that. But we did manage to get the elite. So worked out, left a lot of materials on the ground, but it still was a pretty solid fight for us. I'll take the Kraken's Eye here. More max HP is going to be great, and I'll take a Vigilante Ring. Even on wave 12, that's still a lot of percent damage. Then we can fix our armor a little bit with this 2 armor upgrade, and we can pick up 4 regen as well. We've also got 15 lifesteal, so between the regen and lifesteal, we have really solid healing. We'll take Thief Dagger, Quarterstaff, Hedgehog, and Broken Mouth. I guess I gotta buy the laser gun. Eye Patch for extra piercing is somewhat interesting. Not really sure whether we want the eye patch. I think I'm not going to spend 133 on it. I'm not going to buy the padding either. It's just really expensive. On the other hand, we have double incendiary turret, so fried rice is going to be a lot of healing for this character, and then we can buy these 3 weapons to make sure we've got a full 6-weapon set. Lock the Thief Dagger. Snowball. How often are we going to buy elemental damage items? Probably not that often. So I think we're passing on Snowball. We'll take the Blood Leech and then do 1 reroll here. I could have immediately got 2 elemental damage off these items, but we just aren't buying elemental damage for this character. We don't have a Scared Sausage. If we did, then elemental damage would be pretty interesting. So maybe I should have considered buying the Snowball just in case we got Scared Sausage. Because, of course, Scared Sausage is really nice for the Arms Dealer. It's another way that you can kill enemies that, even if you have a terrible weapon set. I like this version of the Arms Dealer. It's like the world's worst Arms Dealer. Like you'll just take whatever's in stock, no choice at all. Like going to one of those little delis where they have sandwich on the menu, and you just get whatever sandwich they have. I'll take the metal here, of course. Amazing item. So Knot is really good for Arms Dealer, because of course you don't recycle weapons and you very rarely upgrade weapons, so we're going to go ahead and just take that. This is a huge boost to our offensive and defensive stats. At this point I could start building crit chance, but I think I'm just going to take the 1 armor. Then we'll buy Thief Dagger and Sickle. We'll take a Chopper as well. Mutation, I still don't really care that much about, but I guess I'll buy it just for the ranged damage. We'll take a Spear, Tree, Goat Skull, and Chopper, and roll again. And we've got another Chopper. 2 Screwdrivers is interesting, but we've already got 6 weapons, so we're allowed to roll past them. And then I will lock the Thief Dagger. Spicy Sauce, another way that we can kill enemies here. We can't buy the Sickle, because we have the Knot. So we normally would be able to upgrade, but can't. Grenade Launcher. You never get to use Grenade Launcher, so I'm going to buy that. I don't think it's actually right to lock it there, but it is just kind of fun. And I'll lock a Knife as well. More movement speed I don't care that much about, so we're not going to buy Terrified Onion. Chopper is a nice weapon for us, of course, because it scales off our HP, gives us some healing as well, so this should make this a relatively smooth Wave 14, even though we have a bunch of low-level weapons. Wave 14 on Crash Zone, of course, is the biggest challenge for most characters. And this one is no exception, because there's just going to be a lot of summons, and we have a lot of damage that splashes randomly around the map, so it's very hard for us to control how many summons there are on the field. The summoners we're going to break pretty easily just with our turret and our baby elephant and all of our random splash damage, so there's just going to be a lot of goobers. Luckily, we've built a lot of defensive stats, so we should be able to tank through it mostly. You can also see just how good Mouse is. Not only are we making absurd amounts of money every wave because of how many enemies there are, the lifesteal that we've got from it is just keeping us alive no matter how many enemies are on the field. We'll take Injection here. I don't really need more move speed, but I think taking 9 move speed just to boost up to maximum is pretty nice. We don't have any elemental damage currently, right? We've got double incendiary turret. But I think I will take the Ice Cube. Killing elites is probably the hardest thing for this character. So Ice Cube will help a lot if we get elemental damage. So I'm going to try to pick up some form of elemental damage so that Ice Cube can help us kill the elites faster. We have to buy these 2 items. I'll take the helmet. I'm going to pass on scope. We've got just 1 ranged weapon right now, and then we have to buy the crossbow. Here I will, of course, take the Cursed Black Belt. That's a lot of extra damage and very minimal penalty. Weird Food is great. Strange Book, we have no elemental damage. We could really have ended up in an elemental damage build if I'd bought like the Snowball and then all that elemental damage, and then Strange Book would give us a lot of engineering. I'm going to buy it just for fun here. I don't think it's correct to buy that, but it is kind of fun, so we'll give it a shot. And then Claw is worth locking. Goblet and Weird Food we're going to lock as well, because that's just way more healing. This is not a great setup for fighting an elite, especially not this elite, which is a summoner. We just have low damage and slow attacking weapons, but our overall just like raw stat pool is so high that I think we can still fight this elite. This one you want, on its first stage, you want to move around it in a circle. Actually, we might not be able to get it, because there's just so much stuff on the field. So I think I'm actually going to back off, and we'll just farm the summons this wave. We've got a Thief Dagger, too, so farming the summons is going to be worth a lot of money. Easy to get into a situation where you think you can kill an elite, put a lot of damage on it, and then can't kill it, and then you just die. So we're just going to play this one a little safer, and we make a lot of money this wave because we're just killing the summons constantly. So with this elite, you can often just get it to the second stage where it makes summons and then just farm those, and you get a lot of extra money. I don't recommend that strategy unless you know, like for this build, we had AoE damage, but no single target damage. So it works for this character, but for most characters, you're better off just killing the elite. Take the Garden for sure. Lens, yep, more range damage. Spicy Sauce, more wave clear. We'll take 9 dodge because we can start building dodge. And then we'll take 8 melee damage as well. Claw, Screwdriver, Goblet, Weird Food, sure. A Mace, unfortunately going to do very low damage because our attack speed is quite high, but that's the rule. We got to buy it. So we're going to buy all these items. We'll take a Spiky Shield and a Javelin. And then I'm going to buy these 2 and roll. Screwdriver, I'm not going to lock. Frozen Heart works with the Ice Cube, so we're definitely buying the Frozen Heart. And we will take the Wolf Helmet for the luck, but it does work a little bit with Frozen Heart as well. Then we're going to reroll. I'm not going to lock Wrench or Jousting Lance. I think we're just going to take our chances, because a level 1 Jousting Lance or a level 2 Wrench, I think, are on the low end of weapons we could roll. So we're just going to take our chances with a random roll in the next shop. To clarify, I guess, because I kind of decided on this halfway through, so I didn't, like, codify this at the front of the video. But the rule that I'm going with for the character is that I have to buy whatever weapons I see until I have 6 weapons, and then after that I can do whatever. And we can choose not to lock weapons in the shop if we don't want to. At this point, our defensive stats are strong enough because we've built up a lot of regen from our baby squids as well, that we can mostly just tank whatever enemies are attacking us. Allure is great, and then do I want just more luck or more melee damage? I'm going to take 20 luck. The luck is always good because we've got a baby elephant and we have double pearl already. I think I'm just going to reroll this. Level 1 upgrades are kind of disappointing at this point. Let's roll again. Yeah, 4 armor is perfect. Cursed Screwdriver is a nice one, so we'll buy all of these and then do a reroll. We'll take a stick, quarterstaff, jousting lance. Another black belt at this point I don't think we need, although we do have double baby squid, so every level is worth a lot. Losing the luck is quite painful, though, but I think it's on balance worth buying. We have to buy the stick. I'm not going to lock flute or cacti club, so let's roll here. I'll take a pumpkin. We've got a sharp bullet. And then we will lock a poisonous tonic. I'll roll one more time. Shotgun, ball and chain, our weapons are going to attack faster than this a decent amount of the time, but a cursed ball and chain is a lot of stats, so I think that's fine. And then icicle's good enough to lock. I'll also take a scared sausage, because we now have a ton of elemental damage, so solid chop there. And icicle should be good. If we can get a lot of icicles, that should be good against the elite. We've also guaranteed that we will get only icicle as our first weapon, and then have just an icicle, because we locked 4 items, and then have just icicle in our inventory when we reroll. So we're very likely to find other elemental precise weapons. In other words, more icicles. And icicle is one of the best weapons in the game for fighting elites with, so that should be very good going into the Wave 18 Elite, which I believe we have. You can completely ignore everything I just said if I misremembered and we don't have a Wave 18 Elite, though. The Ice Cube, of course, increasing our damage output a lot, because now all of our attacks are elemental, because we have the Frozen Heart, so they all scale with elemental damage, and that means that we are getting a lot of bonus damage. I guess I'll keep taking black belts. We'll definitely take metal plate. Alienize, another way to kill stuff that doesn't involve our actual weapons attacking. I don't really need the melee damage for next wave because we care more about elemental damage. So let's just take more luck, and then I'll take 12 max HP. We've got all these items locked. Yes, we do have a Wave 18 Elite, so I didn't misremember that. And we don't even get slower attacks on our icicles when we have the Cursed Ball and Chain. I will still take Poisonous Tonic and Scared Sausage. This is a little dangerous because I'm going to have to reroll a lot to find 6 weapons, but I think that's okay. I'll lock Cute Monkey. I'm not going to buy it because I need to get to 6 weapons here. Screwdriver, not exactly what we wanted. Snake, pretty good with the Scared Sausage. So I guess I will lock that. We'll do a reroll. Okay, we did get to 6 weapons. Not the 6 weapons we were hoping for fighting an elite, but it should still be okay. Then I'll do a reroll here. I can't upgrade the Thief Dagger, which I would like to, but I'll lock a Shuriken. That's a solid enough weapon that we can use it for Wave 19. Our damage should be high enough that even despite having gotten bad weapons for this wave, we should be able to kill the elite pretty quickly. We have bonus damage from Alienize and stuff as well, so we managed to kill that fairly fast. A lot of people really dislike the Arms Dealer. I really enjoy it. I think having to solve the puzzle of how you need to play with completely different weapon sets every wave, and how to like manipulate the shop in order to get the weapons you want and so on, is a really interesting piece of game design, and it just makes you think about the game in a different way. I think that's something that Brotato does really well, is a lot of the characters really make you think about the game in a completely different way, and value stuff that you normally wouldn't value, and make decisions you normally wouldn't make. I think that's just really interesting and well done. I'll definitely take the Ashes. We do have the Ball and Chain, so weapon attack speed over a certain point doesn't matter that much, but 20% damage is still really good. Reroll here. I'll take 3 ranged damage, because we could end up with a bunch of ranged damage. And then I will still take Cute Monkey, though. Buy these 2 weapons. We'll take the Snake. We'll reroll some more weapons here. Wisdom is a nice hedge, because this will just increase our damage. So even if we have a low damage setup going into the boss fight, the Wisdom should still help out. I'm going to pass on Alien Worm. I need to make sure I've got money to reroll until we find more weapons. Let's take the Shuriken here. Then I will lock the Spiky Shield, because this is a Cursed Spiky Shield is an incredible item for fighting the bosses here. And then we'll do a reroll. We'll lock Shady Potion as well, because we have double Pearl, so that's a lot of damage. And then the Gnome, even though it doesn't work with Spiky Shield, works with a lot of our other stuff, so that's worth locking as well. Going to try to make as much money as we can this wave so that we can buy all those items and then still be able to roll for 6 weapons. This character does leave a lot of materials on the ground. Not much we can do about that, but we are gonna sadly end up with a bunch sitting on the floor by the end of this wave. Because we have the Kraken's Eye, I would have really liked to get like a Bloody Hand or something. Actually, I mean, Bloody Hand would be incredible because we have really high lifesteal as well. And there we go. Yeah, we lost 160 materials, but still made 850, so I'm pretty happy with that. Power generator is great. We've got high enough speed that it's a lot of damage. And do I just take 20 luck here? That's another 4% damage as well. I could also pick up... Our weapon is... The weapon we have locked is a spiky shield. I could roll for dodge. We're only at 20% dodge. I think I'm just going to take the luck here. We'll take 9 dodge, though. And then we will buy all these items, do a reroll. Cacti Club, Harpoon Gun, actually really nice because it gets 100% ranged and melee scaling. So it does a ridiculous amount of damage when you have a bunch of ranged and melee damage. So this is a very powerful weapon. Lantern we can't afford. Wandering Bot we don't want. We've got to find more weapons. Okay, nice. We got a Plasma Sledge. That's a very high damage weapon. And we'll sadly have to take the Cacti Club over the Cursed Javelin because of the rules of the challenge. And can't buy any of these. So let's do some rerolls. Can't buy any of these. The Blindfold would be really nice. Oh, the Captain's Sword. It's here to mock me again. We couldn't even physically buy it if we wanted to because I can't recycle my weapons here. So we're just kind of re-rolling for fun. Although the amount of weapons that we would buy if we could but can't is less fun. Another Pearl would be really nice. All these lures and fertilizers here are pretty fun as well. But let's go to wave 20 and see if we can defeat the bosses. This should be a pretty strong weapon setup against the bosses, I think. The Cacti Club's not contributing that much. Although, I guess having 2 of them means we did get 5% damage from the heavy weapon tag. And there we go. That's the arms dealer. I always really enjoy the arms dealer. I know this is a lot of people's least favorite character, but I think that the puzzle is really interesting. And once you understand the shop and how to build weapon sets that actually work at each level, I think this character is one that you can very, very consistently get a win with. You just need to mitigate the randomness by finding ways to kill enemies that don't involve your actual weapons, such as this baby elephant that dealt 33,000 damage. Turrets dealt 52,000. We made 465 off bags, obviously really solid as well. What else? 66 bonus damage from vigilante rings and 32 bonus damage from the double pearls. Triple mouse, of course, incredible. The celery tea worked out very well. We got a lot of levels and a lot of XP gain off that. 80k damage from our triple incendiary turret, and the spyglass worked out because this character rerolls so much that spyglass is worth buying on it, even though normally this item is not going to pay for itself super well. You can see we made just like a little bit of money off of it, but because we're rerolling so frequently, it let us find weapons, so it's still worth buying. Like, we didn't really make a profit because we spent 60 on it. We only saved 94, and that includes a bunch of for fun rerolls at the end. And materials get less valuable as the game goes on. Materials early are better than materials late. So the spyglass still didn't really pay for itself, but for this character where just rerolling a ton is so important, it's still useful on specifically the arms dealer. Recycling machine we made no money off of because I didn't recycle anything. Baby squid, we got 28 regen, obviously incredible. Only 1,000 damage from Sunken Bell, but 25 from Kraken's Eye. 30k from Spicy Sauce. And what else? 20,000 from Alien Eyes. 22,000 from the Scared Sausage that we got right at the end of the run. So yeah, all of our non-weapon sources of damage really paying for themselves. And then we were able to straightforwardly achieve victory. All right, my friends, hope you enjoyed this run. I had a blast with it, so I hope you did as well. And of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.